Oh boy, here we go. Back to work we go, guys. FOMC is out, and wait till you see these charts in tonight's video because J Power, buddy, he laid some serious traps for us tomorrow morning. I want to make sure we don't fall into those traps and get back our weekly gains. More importantly, though, there are two traps for tomorrow. If we can just get one of them tomorrow morning, it can make our entire week. So this might be the one video you can't afford to miss this week. So charts are ready. Enough of the intro. As always, thanks for tuning in and watching our YouTube videos. Let's dive in and make some money on what should be a fantastic Thursday morning. S&P SPYs ready to go tonight. Nasdaq triple Qs are always ready. I've got 5 clues on these charts telling me where I think the money is made tomorrow. The first clue, it's right here on the hourly time frame. We can easily see the buyers are in control overall on the hourly and the S&P. Buyers in full control, Nasdaq, triple Qs. But wait a second, are you seeing this right now? What is that right there? That's a bullish range. What do ranges do? They rotate, right? That's a bullish range right there on the Nasdaq, and you guys know this, right? What do ranges do? They rotate. Look at those targets, those rotation targets on the S&P. Look at that huge target up there on the Nasdaq. One very big clue right now. It is obvious the buyers are in full control of momentum on the higher time frame, and they are rotating aggressively here right now off the low of that trading range. That's one big clue for tomorrow. Second clue on the calendar for tomorrow. Not as big as the FOMC announcement this afternoon, but we got 2 big news events at 8:30 Eastern time tomorrow morning. Now, jobless claims. Don't forget, this is a big news event right now because last week, jobless claims were at 3.5-year highs. J Powell, if we want him to keep cutting rates this year, we need those jobless claims to be elevated. Remember, the magic number on the weekly jobless claims is 250K. We did 263 last week. That is a big psychological level I'm watching tomorrow. And of course, the Philly Fed manufacturing. We all know how important manufacturing is right now because of the tariffs, right? So both of those, they're pre-market news events, but I'll be watching those tomorrow morning in our trade room. I'm very curious if those jobless claims will stay elevated because that's going to be nudging J Powell and the Fed to keep cutting rates here into the end of the year. That's our second clue for tomorrow. The rest of the clues are down on our tick charts here. Remember, the time chart is for direction. Right now, we're very obviously bullish here on the time charts here right now. Over on the tick charts, there's 3 really big clues here on the tick charts. And remember, we use tick charts because tick charts make entry timing easier. If you're watching for the first time right now, that is a 7,000 tick chart, upper left-hand corner. And that moving average right there, that's the 21 EMA. We don't need a ton of indicators, guys. That's all we need to make consistent, repeatable profit. There's 3 clues here on this tick chart right now. One clue is this bullish trading range. Now remind me again, folks, what do ranges do? They love to rotate, right? They rotate down, up, down, up, down. And because we're so darn bullish right now on the hourly time frame, we know the odds of a breakout going higher are much better than a breakout going lower, right? That's one big clue. Ranges like to rotate. But do you see that other range? It's hiding right in plain sight. It's right there, right? That runs down, up, down, and rotates off that low. What do range breakouts do? Ooh, they love to breakout pullback. If you watch my videos, you know how much I love a breakout pullback. This is definitely one of the traps I'm looking for tomorrow. Third clue, a strong run down. This may not be the most important clue in the world, but anytime we see a strong move like that, what do we know? Strong move says sellers, they're going to try to take out that low before we resume the overall trend. Again, that one might not be the most important clue because we're so darn bullish right now, but do not be surprised if we see, for example, look left a little bit right here. What do you see? I see major highs up here, all-time highs right here, right? That's major resistance up overhead. So one of the traps I'm watching for tomorrow is, if we understand how ranges work, is there a possibility here we may rotate higher and this might be one big bull trap and gets whacked right back down again? Absolutely, because again, we know those areas, all-time highs up there, ranges like to rotate, that strong run down. These bears may take a shot at running this lower. Now, a bit later on in this video, I'm going to talk about how to short a bull trap off the high. It's a bit more of a technical entry pattern. We'll cover that a bit later on in the video, but one of my favorite traps for tomorrow would be a bull trap off the high, run it lower, the amount above the range, the amount below the range, right? That will give us our entry area. And like all traps, I like to use what's called the 2-try rule. So as it rolls lower here, I would love to trap the bears in once, twice, get those stops to get triggered, bear trap running up. And again, we know that ranges like to rotate, right? So as it rotates back higher now, we add to our winner, shallow pullback, higher high in price, and we're adding more right below that low. We saw a gorgeous example of this. Look at that pattern right there. A beautiful add-on trade right there. Strong move up, shallow pullback, higher high, below that low, money pattern, right? You guys, most of you guys know that pattern already, right? That's the add-on trade right there. And again, I will talk about if we keep pushing higher. I will cover that a bit later on in this video. I love the idea though of a bull trap, swing back down, trap those bears in, and then squeeze those stops and rotate back higher again. Now remember, sometimes we don't get that bear trap down there, right? Oftentimes what happens is it'll run up, it'll slam back lower, and it'll just boing and bounce right back up off of that low. If it V bottoms off of that low, remember, it almost always begins to grind going higher. And the way you structure that entry is you find a channel off the highs. You bring it down around that low. We look left, find some prior swings. And what do we always say? First test is the best test off the low of that channel. Now, this could be a bear trap, like I'm showing you here. It could be underneath the 21 EMA, a 2-try bear trap. I like to use traps because traps allow me to run the stops of those sellers. And like I teach in our video classes, stop runs are the easiest ways to make money. And remember, ranges love to rotate, so the amount below, the amount above, and leave that runner going higher here. Now, I do want to talk about going higher here on the Nasdaq here. I want to talk about that bull trap back down again. And I've got a couple more traps. I got 3 different traps up here if we do keep going higher here. Before we talk Nasdaq though and cover this thing going higher here, let's take a pit stop for a second because I know a lot of you guys watching right now, you guys know these patterns already. I get a ton of emails of you guys making money on that breakout pullback this afternoon. But if you're watching for the first time right now, this might be a brand new strategy. Don't you worry though. I teach this entire roadmap. I teach all of these entry tactics in a whole lot more detail in my free trading classes. In fact, I have a ton of examples of all these entry patterns I'm covering here right now. Guys, the markets are way too good right now not to be making profit consistently. What I'll do is I'll put a link up top here for you, upper right-hand corner, hit that link that popped up there, take that free trading course because the strategy I teach in that video course will teach you a stupidly simple trick we use to time almost perfect entries in our members trade room each morning. More importantly, I want to teach you guys my 4 favorite entry setups, help you time better entries, get your confidence back in your trading. Guys, if you're missing the best trades right now, if you've lost your confidence in your current strategy, don't delay anymore. Hit that link that popped up there. Watch that free video course. You're going to love all the trade examples I include. I have a ton of trade examples of traps and add-ons and V-bottoms and V-tops. You're going to love that entire video class. Best part is it's completely free for you. Be aware too, guys, I'm going to put all the important links you need to learn the entire roadmap to talk about tonight. Description of the video. Start first on that free video course. Most folks start making money all on their own, all from that free video class, and then come join us in our trade room every morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. I'll put trade room membership links below the tonight description of the video. And if you're on Twitter or X, I post a ton of charts and videos and mind stuff on the Twitter platform, X platform. Give me a follow. Again, all the details you need to learn the roadmap, time better entries, get your confidence back in your trading. Everything below the tonight description of that YouTube video. All right, so now you know one of my favorite traps here for tomorrow is up, rotate back down, amount above, amount below, bear trap off that previous range back there. That channel is just gorgeous right now. All right, love, love, love that trap here. Now, what if we keep going higher here? And how do we sell this thing back down again? Let's go talk about that over here now on the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is what a gorgeous chart right now on the NQ. Bull run up into a range, rotation off that low. I mean, is that the moon out there? It's going to the moon, it looks like. 24,831 half. All kidding aside, though, we know we're bullish right now, and we know that we're quite aggressive here right now. Markets do get quite aggressive as they rotate off the low of this range. Before I talk about the tick charts here and talk entries, if you're enjoying tonight's video, please help me grow this channel, will ya? By hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe. I know we're all busy people these days. I appreciate you watching my videos tonight. So thank you for the likes, the subs, all the love I get, all the comments I get in the comment section below. Now, I'm done wasting time here. Let's dive in and talk about that Nasdaq right now. Nasdaq, boy, I love this chart right now. First clue on the Nasdaq right now, this range right here. It's a bull range, right? Bull range. Bullish move up, rotates back and forth. We're rotating off that low. And again, as I mentioned earlier, these ranges, they like to rotate, right? So that's one big clue right there. Now look at this though. There's two more ranges around us right now. Look at that range, right? Look at that range right there. That little tiny range right there, this is a breakout pullback zone off that trading range. Now, what do you think, right? Is it possible that that range above can hold? This range below us, right? Same thing in the S&P, that's a breakout pullback. So what do you think, right? This is why I love this trap right here. We may run up. Again, strong run down right there. Don't count these bears out. They will probably try to whack this thing running lower here. Would love to get that bull trap off that high, that rotation back lower, right? Take out both of those ranges because remember, markets, they hunt for these ranges. If you know how the auction market theory works, if you study market profile or auction market theory, you know that markets are, they're wired to fill these ranges in, right? They're high volume areas on the chart. Now, I mentioned that earlier, we have to be careful trying to sell off this area. How would I sell a market like this off this, right, off this level of resistance? Well, remember, we are very bullish right now on the hourly time frame. In fact, I would argue we're even more bullish right now because of that rotation off the low. When markets rotate, they get very aggressive. So I can't be that aggressive on a short trade off the high right now. Normally, I would say a crown reversal, right? Normally, I would say buyers once, buyers twice, and look for a crown reversal. You can try that trade short. Again, it's all it is it's a lower low above the high, strong red candle closing back below moving average. Like I teach in the free video course, you can try that trade. But again, the market right now is very aggressive here off that higher time frame. What I'm looking for tomorrow is a slight variation of that crown reversal, which is basically a V-top, right? V-top. So we run up, we get whacked back down, and now we start to rotate down lower. This will start to grind going lower here. And all we do is mark a trend line off that low, bring it up around that high, look left, find prior swings, and we're getting short off the top of that, again, off that channel. And the most important thing about this short is it needs to be above a prior swing. All right. If you're going to my free video course right now, this is a technical bull trap, right? It's a lower low in price, above that high, strong red candle. Now, warning, this is a counter trend trade. So in my world, this is a half side trade, right? It's a quarter size trade. For some of you folks watching right now, this is a trade off limits, right? Let's get into the habit of making money going with the trend first. Then we can start whacking trades like this and make money on both sides of the market. Now remember, where's the market want to go? It wants to rotate the amount above, the amount below. So right when, this is the best part about this, right when this thing starts feeling very bearish, right all the bears come out and say, see, I told you so. Right when the market feels bearish here right now, you know this is not a reversal, right? You know by now a deep pullback on the tick charts is not a reversal because of why? Because we don't use the tick charts for direction. The tick charts are for entry timing. That hourly chart is for direction, right? So if this thing rolls off that high, it's going to feel like a reversal, but go back and watch this video tomorrow. This is not a reversal. It's a welcomed pullback in a very strong bullish market. Now, you know me, right? I'm not going to blindly buy down here, right? We don't just step in front of freight trains like that. What I'll do is I'm going to wait for that 21 EMA to come over. I'm going to wait for the price to pull back to that 21, bears once, bears twice, trap them in that same 2-try bear trap I teach in the free video course. And again, once you start seeing that bear trap get squeezy, now you look for that add-on, right? The add-on is very specific. Memorize this pattern. It pays very well during range rotations. It's a shallow pullback. Remember, the pullback, it'll separate away from that moving average. No separation, no add-on, all right? No separation, no add-on. Separation, higher high, get underneath that low, and we add to our winner from there. So it's a bit of a V-top, right? A V-top. I do want to see that rotation. I do want to see momentum turn for these bears. Again, I would normally be a bit more aggressive on that, but not with that hourly chart, right? Not with that big rotation on the hourly chart. It's a V-top. First test bear trap off the high. It's a 2-try bear trap, an add-on, and a rotation back up again. And again, if these terms are not making sense to you, I do speak a different language here sometimes on these videos. That's exactly why I recommended that free video course. Again, all the links you'll need below the video description of this YouTube video. All right, now, what if we keep going higher here though, right? What if we don't get that fake out breakout off the high here? Because again, I think you're going to see a lot of people see what I saw on the hourly chart. Now, one very important thing I want you to remember is that if we keep grinding, right? See what's happening right here? It's kind of like a V bottom, right? Pop up and grinding here. Now, what did we just talk about when it comes to grinding trends? We find a trend line, right? Off the highs. We bring it off that low. What's the most important part though? The most important part is get in under prior swings, okay? So if we keep grinding higher right now, we call these pop and grinds, right? Pop and grinds, kind of pops up and grinds. If we keep grinding higher here overnight, my focus at this point now is I'm focused right now on getting in under prior swings off the low of that channel, right? So under prior swings, get below that 21 EMA, trap those bears in twice. Why twice? Because I want their stops, right? I want their pain. I want those sellers. I want them in so much pain, they buy their way out. No, I want these sellers in so much pain that they flip their position, right? They buy their way out and they get long, right? I want to realize, right, that pain there, and they buy their way out and it runs higher, right? If you're caught short, only way out of it is to buy your way out. So stops get hit. And remember, after that stops get squeezy, we then add to that winner. I know it sounds repetitive, right? But guys, once you find something that works, everyone always wants, different patterns like that. Once you find what works, you'll keep hitting this button over and over and over again till the darn thing falls off your keyboard, right? Trust me on that. So a bear trap off the low, right? Add on as we go here. And then remember, on these types of trades, it's always that breakout. It's always the breakout. It's always the pop leg. That's your measured move leg, right? So this leg right here, Okay, mark my words. If we get a pullback to that moving average or that channel low, that now will become your target, right? That will become your target. The pop and grind moves like this. It's the pop leg is the measuring leg, the pullback off that low, and that will give us now our final target. Because after all, if you want to make more money, let your winners run, right? Let your winners run. Add to your winners and let your winners run. It's easier said than done though, right? It's much easier, at least in my experience, to let your winners run when you know where the winner is trying to go. So that would be our pop and grind move going higher here. If it grinds, find that channel and go from there. Another, my favorite trades here for tomorrow is a breakout pullback, right? Again, we're pretty bullish right now on the hourly time frame. If we see a breakout going higher, you can see that little measure move that I have up there. Now remember, breakouts. Whenever we see range breakouts, you want to think about this sequence, okay? This sequence. As we go higher, I'm looking for that separation off of that moving average. Trade number one on a range breakout requires separation away from the moving average. Again, why separation? Because separation means strength, okay? It means strength. Be very careful up here if we start, kind of grinding around that moving average right there. No separation, no strength trade, okay? No trade right here. We go up, we pull back, we start separating away from that moving average. Okay, that's your green light now. I can now confidently now buy right below that low. It's a classic bear trap pattern, separation, shallow pullback, higher high, below that low, that's your in. Now, we know that the breakout leg is the measuring leg, right? So the breakout leg is your measuring leg. I don't know exactly how big that breakout leg will be, but that is the fundamental way in which you find that target, right? Makes sense? Once we know how big the breakout leg is, then we'll know where that measured move is. But that is we take our profit on that breakout. Now, the most important thing, and hopefully by now, if you watched my videos this week, you know, breakout pullbacks are so darn common. They're so consistent. So now, what was resistance over here now that becomes an area of support. Now that becomes a breakout pullback zone right there. And now we start looking for, what I always look for is a two-legged pullback, right? Most, not every one of them, but most breakout pullbacks are going to be a two-legged pullback. One leg, two leg. Think about a measured move that goes a bit too far. Between you, me, and YouTube, my favorite two-legged pullbacks go a little bit more than that 100%, right? 120, 130, 150. Do not mistake one that goes further, right? If it goes really far like that, that's even better, right? That's even better because a lot of times there'll be a channel coming up off that high, off that low, combine that with a break. Okay, right? Makes sense. Okay, now on the pullback here, remember, this might go all the way back down again. I don't have a crystal ball. It may seem like that sometimes, but I don't know how far that pullback will go. All right, I don't. What I do know though is when it pulls back like that, it's going to feel like a reversal. And that is exactly what you want because again, this is the tick charts, right? Not the hourly time frame. If we see this in the hourly time frame, okay, now we're probably bearish, but we're not there right now on the hourly. This is a deep pullback right now in overall bull market. So let it pull back to that moving average. Bears once, bears twice, trap those bears in, squeeze those stops, add to your winner. You know how to do this by now. Most of you guys making money with this stuff already here. And we're going where? Back up to retest that high, right? If you were to ask ChatGPT, what does a breakout pullback look like? This is the definition of a repeatable breakout pullback. It is separation for the first trade. It is a two-legged pullback, a bit more than a measured move. It's a bear trap. It's an add-on, and it's a retest of that high. Love that breakout pullback. We see a lot of those each week in our trade room at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And the final one which might be the easiest trade for us tomorrow, is we might see this thing break out going higher here, and we might see a new trading range up here, especially with some big news tomorrow morning. We got quad witching coming on Friday, so don't be surprised here if we see this thing pop up, run into those big highs overhead, and we start treading water going sideways. Now, this may seem more advanced, but whenever I have multiple ranges, okay, we call these stacked ranges. Stacked ranges. Write this down. Take some screenshots. Whatever you do, you need to learn this technique. It's very simple. The most recent range is the magnet. The previous range is the breakout pullback. Once you see a new trading range, this is the focus now. Okay, we don't forget about that previous range. The previous range is still there, but we're no longer looking for like a rotation back and forth, right? Makes sense? So the new range, that's the magnet. The previous range now is the breakout pullback. So once it pulls back now, I'm not looking for a full rotation. What'll happen is it'll pull back, it'll hold off that previous range. We see bear traps, and the current range wants to rotate. Bear trap, add on, rinse and repeat. As you can see, we use the same basic idea of the entry tactics, but we use them in different ways based on whether or not it's a channel or it's a range, right? As I mentioned earlier in this video, bear trap, add on. And guys, if there's one scenario where you must leave a runner, it's always a range rotation. And like I said earlier, you know, letting the trade run is much easier said than done, but it's easy when you know how ranges work, when you know how these range rotations are going to work. Now, one last thing too, I'm going to warn you right now, okay? Don't get too aggressive up here, because if we go sideways into a trading range up here, like I mentioned earlier, we got some major resistance up overhead. Is there a possibility now we might go up first, get one of those bull traps up there I mentioned earlier, right? Bull trap, crumb reversal, V-top, and get run back down again? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. Be prepared for those traps. Again, above the high, above the low. This will feel like a reversal, but you know better now. You know too much now. It's not a reversal. It's a range rotation. So all we do is you guessed it. Once we take out the pendulum swing there, we then trap those bears in. Same thing. Rinse and repeat. Back up again. Guys, if you haven't learned how ranges work yet, you cannot afford not to take that free trading course, because I have like 1,000 examples of exactly what I'm showing you right now. Is all included on the website for free with that free video class. Again, the link's in the description. All right, that's my game plan for tomorrow. Some traps we're watching for tomorrow. Don't get trapped by those trappers, right? You be the one doing the trapping. That's the game plan for tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Guys, the easiest way, start making money in these markets. Come on, learn and trade along every morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. I'll put all the important links you guys need to get started down below the tonight description. Start first with that free video course. You're going to love all those trade examples. Then come join us in the morning trade room, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll do it together. In the meantime, guys, be well out there. Fantastic, fantastic week so far. Let's keep it going tomorrow morning. In the meantime, be well, be nice to each other out there, and be here next time. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.